Welcome to the show. You live and you learn. How we doing? Welcome to the Gould Kirwan show.
The Gould Kirwan show. Here we are
with us,
Horatio Gould,
Andrew Kirwan. Very quick introduction of ourselves, so you know who we are. What have we done? Well, student radio. We started off at Raw, which is a Warwick-based radio station. Now making the big move up to Kiki.
Yeah.
Which is very happy, pleased about.
Our own studio.
Yep. I think most of the introduction about who we are is said in that little video we've just done. Yep. So there's not much more to say on the matter.
That pretty much sums it up from birth to now.
Yep. So that's us. We'll be doing hopefully a weekly or a bi-weekly show.
Depending on this is the pilot, so depends what you guys think.
Get yourselves a click in.
Yep.
And we'll get ourselves a funny in.
Right, let's get to it.
Yeah, well, so we'll just do like it's kind of a comedy chat / speech-based show. Specifically, we've won an award for it.
Yep.
Chat and or speech-based show. And that's what you're going to get here every week, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Send us some messages in on Facebook if you want us to talk about anything particular. We like requests. Send some messages in.
Yep.
And, you know, we'll just have a good time together.
Wonderful.
Great
Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Let's do it. Horatio, how you doing? How's your life been?
Well, it's probably a bad place to start, actually, because it's actually pretty awful. Oh. No, it literally is. This is not even a fun little, oh, it's so bad. We did a test of it. We tried to do this on Thursday. It was too windy, a lot of logistical stuff. I was feeling fine.
Yep.
Life was going well.
Yeah.
Now it's actually going a bit shit.
Why is that?
Emphasis on the shit. We're not on student radio anymore.
Titties.
Fuck. Yeah, cool. Well,
what's happening?
I broke up with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like a month ago.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I was
completely
there.
Wrecked her.
Not in the room, but
yeah, it completely destroyed her.
Yeah.
Awful for her, and I felt bad, obviously.
Yeah, as you do.
And we had a great relationship, and I thought, right, I've made a huge mistake.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
Yeah.
Pretty sure she's the love of my life.
Okay.
So I'm like, right, I'm done with all this malarkey of being single. Go up to London, £22 return, even with a rail card.
Even? Bloody hell.
Yeah, I know. The cost of love, eh? It's £22.
£22 with a rail card. You think you get a discount off love with a rail card? But nothing.
9. Get Jeremy Corbyn in. I swear that's one of...
Nationalise the railways, improve love.
Improve love, both ticked. So I go up, I'm just like, right, let's get back together.
Yeah.
You know, you obviously are madly in love with me.
Who wouldn't be?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you were upset when, you know, why wouldn't you just want to get back, end all this pain? Look at it.
Look at it.
Look at it.
Oh, yeah, by the way, very quick, sorry to interrupt, it'll be 2 seconds. We're also on video, if you're not watching on video. Check us out on video, or don't check us out on video.
Oh, you don't feel you have to watch us.
We don't really... I mean, we're filming it. We don't really know why.
Yeah.
But do what you want. Do what you want.
Yeah. Listen. Listen.
That's the main motto of the show.
Go on other tabs. Right, back to me.
Go on, back to you, yep.
Yeah, so then I'm like, let's go out together.
Right.
She's like, nah.
No.
Got over you.
Oh.
And I'm like,
excuse me?
Excuse me?
Who do you think you're talking to?
She's a comedian, but I was like, that's probably the funniest joke you've ever told. Over me? Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah.
So they're rejecting. And like, tears are coming out my eyes, because I'm like...
Tears, yeah.
I'm like, what?
Don't be afraid to cry.
And then it's during Pride in London.
Right.
And right next to us, literally I'm sitting on a bench crying.
Yeah.
There's a gay marriage proposal. in front of about 500 people in a park.
How close to you was the marriage proposal?
So I'm sitting like here, and it was just like a couple of feet behind us.
Oh, God.
So cheers. I might even be in some of the videos.
Yeah.
Because everyone's videoing it.
Your
Everyone's
breakup
like,
in the marriage
and it's just
proposal
like,
video.
it shows, you know, there's like this heterosexual relationship not working, and it shows what the future is.
Well, it's a circle of life.
It
Really,
is.
isn't it?
It is.
When one thing breaks away, another comes together.
I wish I could say I wish them well, but I had a lot of resentment.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna
can
lie.
imagine, actually. Was there with too much joy going around for the kind of sad situation?
Yeah.
So what? You just got on the train back, and now?
Oh yeah. Then I went shopping for shoes because
how'd that go?
I'm wearing these.
Clearly not well.
These are terrible. I'm wearing running shoes. But no size fit.
No size. What size feet do you have?
Poetic, some would say.
You have
no shop in the land, or no shop in the land can fit my feet.
What size feet do you have?
Like, can't fit me in her heart.
What size feet do you have?
12. Big.
It's quite big. I thought you were 13.
No, 12. But it's the size I have to go online now.
Oh dear.
Yeah, not good.
No, that's excessive. You know, you want to buy your shoes in person.
But yeah, enough about me and my interesting life. Not gonna lie. Pretty. What's going on with you?
Nothing really. Just been at home.
Yeah.
Literally by myself for a bit at home.
You need a bit of me time.
Need a bit of you time. It's important too. You know.
By me, I mean me. You need a bit of my.
Horatio.
You need a bit of Horatio
within my time.
You need me time.
I need, so it's you time for me, but me time for you.
You need Horatio time.
Horatio time, that makes it more easy.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have Horatio time by myself. Had a nice meal last night, cooked some steak, been wanking a lot, just a bit. You know, it just happened. When by yourself, what are you going to do? What?
How many times?
Yesterday, 4.
That's excessive. That's a good batting average, I'd say.
Yeah, it really is, because you've got to spend your time at the crease well.
Which wank was the raw stage?
3.
3.
Whoa. Yeah, and that's when the resentment really starts to set.
Yeah. But then it's quite nice. It's quite fun.
Now excessive.
I've been alone.
But you know what? You think, fuck it, we're doing it anyway. You know, we're 3 wanks in. Why not go for 4?
Exactly.
That's what I've always say, and that's my motto. But
wonderful.
It's a bit weird being back at home. We're uni students.
Oh yeah. There's so much you guys don't know about.
Well, you'll find out.
You'll find out. You're coming on. I mean, you might not find out if you don't share with your friends because this is a pilot.
Yeah.
And if we don't get enough views, not much of this.
No, not that much of this.
But a lot of this with this. Visual comedy once again.
Yeah.
We've got to run through that for podcast
basically.
First
I
held my fingers together like money.
Like what is this like a?
It's like
substance.
Yeah. So when you rub it together.
Rubbing your fingers together. Then I held up my coffee.
Yeah.
Implying that coffee is expensive.
Yeah.
Costs money, which you can quote me on.
In this, yeah.
And then the third was
I started acting out wanking.
A wanking sign.
Yeah.
Which is just
beating the meat,
shaking the wrist back.
Feeding the goose.
Playing cards with one hand on the table.
Choking the chicken.
Don't have anything.
1-0. So
it's 1-0.
Good
We need a whiteboard
for that. We need a whiteboard for
next
different ways to say
next
wanking.
It's just a pilot, isn't it? It's just a pilot. Having good fun on the pilot.
I think we're getting a bit too excited that we're not have the constrictor of student radio.
Yeah.
And should get off wanking. Jeff Shreves.
They're just about failing. Well, they're not really.
Because they're not quite making it.
No. John Fish overtly fucked up. Do you know what he did?
What?
So he said, like, the weather forecast he the day before something.
Yeah.
He was like, pretty standard weather, you know, nothing too much, a bit of wind coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, a pretty chill day. Next day, there was a hurricane. Yeah.
Well, is that his fault?
No, it's not. It's not.
It's
Michael
the people.
Fish's fault. No, but he's the face for it. You know,
he's a weatherman.
Yeah. But I mean, you don't.
Because I've always found when people blame weathermen, it's like you're just the face of the.
There's more. But he would have been complicit in it. I mean.
Yeah,
that man knows his weather. Look,
he's definitely not completely absolved of blame.
No, but 100%. He's not. He shouldn't be like a scapegoat.
Exactly.
So clear Michael Fish hashtag.
Yeah. And then it's Alfred Fish is the serial killer who.
Not to be mistaken.
Did he raped then 8 children?
So when you're looking at misrepresenting weather and raping and eating children.
He's not that bad, is he?
He's not that bad.
He's not that bad when you come to think of it. So,
cool. But we're waiting for a good fish.
Yes.
Isla Fisher.
Confessions of a Shopaholic. So much admin. Oh my goodness.
So little time.
We used to do this in a studio.
Look at us now.
Like a proper studio where they'd do all the work. We had to set up this camera. Yeah. We had to set up these mics.
That we did.
That was us.
That?
Well, we won that.
Again, podcast.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. That was an award we won. Best chat or speech-based show at Warwick.
Right, anecdote time. Right, who wants to go?
I think you should take this one.
On my 19th birthday, I developed a hemorrhoid.
That's a big headline. Big way to start.
Yep. Never a good time to develop a hemorrhoid. 19th birthday is one of the worst.
One of the worst.
So started bleeding out my arse.
What? Just as soon as you woke up, you're like, it's my birthday.
Oh
my!
Oh God!
There's blood coming out my bum hole.
Yeah, and it's a bit disconcerting at first, obviously, but I mean, I thought that might just be what 19 is.
We just think every single day you'd wake up from then on.
Yeah, you never know, do you?
You could have asked me because I was 19 at the time.
Yeah, but I don't like asking you personally.
We don't speak outside the show.
We don't speak outside this,
Our relationship
room,
is
actually.
tense. It's tense.
Tense to say the least.
Yeah.
Tepid.
But at least on air we can be like, "Fine, my big man." Woo!
Hey. That's award-winning.
Yeah, award-winning chat.
Yeah. So started bleeding out my arse, thinking there's some issues here.
100%.
You know what's happening down
Well, it's
there.
never good.
It's never good. It's
because blood coming out of anywhere, bad. Arsehole, really bad.
Worse. Yeah. Although it's nice to have a change.
Yes.
You know,
you must have been lovely. To have a little bit.
There's blood coming out now. You know, it's a bit different. But nonetheless, bit worried. But thought maybe it's just blood coming out the arse.
Yep.
But no, it was a hemorrhoid. So I was with friends a lot of this time.
Yeah.
And I actually was at one of my friends' houses.
Yeah.
So, away from home, and you don't want to be bleeding out your arse away from your
You
house.
need to be near,
in a safe
your
space.
classic, where you can back into a corner and bleed.
you're just like, bleed out your arse in peace, basically. But no, I was at a friend's house, so I found myself having to go into the bathroom and make a makeshift tampon.
It's not something you learn at Scouts.
No, Scouts, no, you think
don't
there
get
should
your
be a
badge
ribbon
for makeshift.
Yeah, makeshift tampon making, which is basically just getting a bit of toilet roll and, kind of scrunching it up.
Wait, so is hemorrhoid just blood?
No, it's like a little pocket of flesh, I guess, that hangs.
Ooh.
They can be an internal or an external hemorrhoid.
Yeah.
Internal
Big
is obviously
difference.
within the arse, the little flesh pocket. External hangs just outside.
What did you have?
I believe it was external.
Oh, wonderful.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, I'd advise to go external if you have a choice in
If you have a choice.
Other hemorrhoids are available. Back
There we go.
Internal.
Very good.
So yeah, having to make a makeshift tampon at home, which involved at my friend's house, which was just shoving some tissue up my arse, really.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of an issue, but oh dear. But so then I rang Mum and I was like, you know what, this has gone on too long.
Yeah. How did that phone call? Let's run through that phone call. I'll be your mum.
Hi, Mum.
No, ring.
Ring.
Oh, I better pick up the phone.
Ring.
It's
ring.
It's my
Ring.
It's my son.
Ring.
Oh,
Ring.
you work
Ring.
this thing.
Ring.
Hello?
Mum, I'm bleeding out my arse.
What?
Correct. You heard me right.
What? Is this one of your sick jokes, Andrew?
No, Mum. I wish it was. I really do. But I'm 19 and I'm bleeding out my bum.
Get you to the hospital.
Correct. Let's do it.
Scene.
So that's exactly what happened, and then went to the hospital.
Yeah.
Eventually, and we suspected it was hemorrhoid, or hemorrhoids, otherwise known as piles.
Yeah.
And then I had a very strange interaction with the doctor during this time.
Oh yeah.
He was just a bit odd because he didn't like to say much because I think.
Oh my God!
It's all going wrong. Now.
It's all going wrong.
I think he realised it was a bit of an awkward conversation.
Yeah.
So he wanted me to do the leading, or he was just a bit. I think he was enjoying it.
What did he look like?
Let's say 38. No, 38.
Yeah.
Bump him up a bit.
Yeah.
Very slightly overweight, but not badly.
Always
So.
getting a little dig in.
Yeah, I like to get my digs in. But we sat down, we had a little conversation. I told him the symptoms. I was like, you know what? I'm bleeding out my arse. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm glad you're not lying. Because you shouldn't do that to a doctor. I said, you're right.
And you're like, fantastic.
Fantastic.
So that's a good start.
And I was off. No, it wasn't. I had a hemorrhoid to fix. So, had a chat with him, and I was like, yeah, so I'm bleeding out my arse.
Yep.
It's probably a hemorrhoid, isn't it?
Probably.
Like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And he gave me a little smirk.
You want it to be a calming presence.
You do.
You don't want a little bit sarky.
No, he
It's
was a bit
bit
sarky.
of lip.
He was enjoying
More
it.
this, that's fixing a hemorrhoid.
Yeah.
Less this. Oh, once again, visual.
Yeah,
Forget about it.
Forget about it. Watch the video if you care. But I reckon, to be fair, a hemorrhoid is probably the highlight of his day. Bit of comedy in there.
Yeah.
You know, you get a lot of sad things happening. Like you've got to diagnose people with some horrible stuff, but
Like
a bit of flesh hanging out the bum, you're laughing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what
that was what the issue was, wasn't it?
He was in, because he was just like, So yeah, as I say, I was doing most of the leading, so I was like, I'm bleeding out my bum. It's a bit, you know, impractical.
Embarrassing.
More than anything.
Embarrassing. Emasculating.
I mean, leave the house.
Yeah.
With fear of rectal bleeding.
Yeah, exactly.
And he then, I was then like, it's probably a hemorrhoid, isn't it? And he was like, yeah. And he gave me a little look, a little smirk. I was like, I'm going to have to get on the table and pull my trousers down, aren't I? He was like, yeah. And they did the smirking. I was like, okay. I'll
show the camera the smirk.
So I did. Got on the table, pulled the trousers down. Not a table, it was a bed.
Yeah.
Not some weird GP that was happening. He was completely verified. This isn't, we're going to have messages in. You're going to the wrong GP. No, you're not listening to the fucking story.
Turn your volume up. Fix your bloody ears.
So, got on the table, pulled the trousers down.
Yeah.
He goes in there. Straight away, that's a hemorrhoid, my friend.
Well, at least he's to the point.
He's to the point. He's straight away. And boy, she's a big un.
Spell hemorrhoid.
H-A-E-M-O-R-R-H-O-I-D. That could well be correct.
You probably had to type it a lot during that.
Yeah.
You were just you messaged everyone, I've got a hemorrhoid, I've got a hemorrhoid.
Group chat. Yeah,
just
family and friends, everyone, just to update you, got piles.
And I imagine a lot of spelling corrections were made to you.
Yeah, actually, it's this. I was like, I think I know. Have you got blood seeping out of your arsehole?
Yes, I do, in fact.
Sorry, Auntie Clara, I know you've got issues. Auntie
Clara. That's my Auntie Clara as well. That's what's the weird part. We'll get to that story.
Weird. Why do I know about her anus issues? Don't ask too many questions. Then got back off, you know, all good. We've established it's a hemorrhoid. Now now we're in the treatment process. What do you do about a hemorrhoid? What does one do with piles? Just for clarification, it was one hemorrhoid. That's why it's called piles, because you can have many. But
there's a pile.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, is it? So did I have a pile?
A pile is a plural word in itself.
Yeah. Confusing terms from the medical profession. Sort it out.
Please.
So then went back to the consultant desk, whatever it is, and he was like, yep, so that's a hemorrhoid then. I was like, okay. And then there was just a bit more silence, so I was like, so what do I do? And he was like, give me some cream.
Yeah.
Actually, no, he recommended some cream.
Okay,
he recommended, he didn't give me any cream. He was like, yeah, try this cream.
But this cream is also good, you know.
Yeah, you know. And then I was like, so what do I do about the bleeding? And he did the smirk again, to be honest. He did the smirk and it was more silence. And I was like, right, I'm going to have to fill this silence again. Okay. I'm going to have to wear a sanitary towel, aren't I? And he just went, with his smirk, yeah. There you are. I was like, you're taking a bit too much enjoyment from this.
And also, you're kind of doing his job for him.
I'm completely doing his job for him.
He's just waiting for you to say the right thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the one, I think.
Yeah. He was either finding it too awkward or just enjoying himself.
He seems like an enjoying himself kind of guy.
Yeah, he was that kind of guy. So that was that was the end of the interaction with the old doctor. And then, so went down Sainsbury's.
Yep. Sainos,
other supermarkets are available.
Yep.
Got myself some sanitary towels. We're talking 10-pack. You don't know how long.
How much are they?
Bleed for. If there's one thing I've always said, rectal bleeding can happen whenever, and for however long that it will.
How much are they?
Like £3 maybe. I have no idea. This is about a year ago now. Sorry. Maybe £3.50.
£3.50. Let's go with that.
Let's go with that. I don't even know if you can buy a 10-pack.
We'll get the bloody PC brigade coming. Respect and love is good. Nah.
So, had some sanitary towels in. Got home. I was like, let's whack these babies on.
Yeah.
You know, let's get them doing what they're meant to be doing.
Yeah.
I.e., stopping the rectal bleeding. Not stopping, absorbing. So, bearing in mind, I've never put a sanitary towel on other than making my makeshift tampon at my friend's house. That's just a little context for you. Like before you go, oh, why can't you do this? Right? So, open the pad, whack it straight on to the gooch area.
Which is the...
So, yeah, just the bit between your balls and your bum, basically. Yeah. Or your arse, to be more specific. So, and a bit in your inner thighs as well. And it turns out you're not meant to stick it onto your skin directly.
You know what? I would be scoffing at you, but I'd probably do the same thing.
Exactly.
If I'd just whack it
straight on. You're thinking, well, let's get it in the area where it needs to be doing its shit. And I was walking around, I was thinking, this is a bit fucking terrible, to be honest. This is incredibly painful. How the fuck do women do it?
Yeah.
So I went to Mum.
Yeah.
what's happening, Mum? This isn't very comfortable in the slightest.
Yeah.
Like, and you know what? I don't think I can do this.
Yeah.
At all. And turns out you're meant to stick it to your panties.
Oh.
So therefore the blood like goes onto it rather than you don't need to stick it right to the source.
It's like a wall that absorbs it.
Exactly. It's like a little buffer there to stop the bad stuff going. But
all the good stuff.
Effective. All the good stuff.
Depends which angle you come.
We don't judge.
Yeah.
Do we?
Don't judge. Not here at the Gould Kirwan show.
No, we don't. And so I'd be putting it wrong for the whole time, and that meant for a very painful take off.
Yeah.
All the hair and stuff comes with that. But so basically, just never. If you're a man who's got hemorrhoids and is thinking about using sanitary towels, one, do it. Best decision of my life, honestly. And two, don't stick it straight onto the skin because it really hurts. Panties. Onto the panties. Straight onto the panties. Yeah, well, it gave me a new appreciation for what women go through. It's not easy. One, bleeding out the arsehole, and two, applying a sanitary towel.
Yeah.
Neither of them are fun things or things you want to do. So I feel like I'm a changed man since the hemorrhoid. So it was a good thing that it happened on my 19th birthday because I always felt like, oh, you're 19 now.
You're the real world.
You understand.
This is the issues that you need to face as a man.
As a man.
You need to be putting
sanitary towels onto your gooch and realising it's wrong. You live and you learn. And if you're not laughing, you're learning.
That's two idioms in one.
In one whole answer.
That is wonderful. God.
The Gould Kirwan.
God. Radio. What is a radio?
What?
I just said radio. It's like
podcast, radio.
Vodcast.
Define a radio.
Anyway. But carry on listening or watching, whatever you choose, once again.
Yep.
But yeah, I feel there's a bit of a moral to this story.
Which is? You want me to
love thy neighbour.
Love thy... always be fruitful to thy partner.
Yeah?
In rectal bleeding and...
Oh, and also...
Penis.
Let's cut the...
Huh? Yeah, I said period. But it was in a different...
So much smut, this show.
Context. Nah, not that much. Smut. Yeah, a bit smutty.
Bit smutty.
We'll move on from this.
Move on. Well, actually, let's cut that tampon tax.
Cut the tampon tax.
Cut the tampon tax
immediately.
Make that stuff free.
Why are we taxing tampons? Why? Honestly.
Don't look at them.
I don't know. There's them out there. They're the tampon taxes.
Now he's pointing. Wow.
Anyway, I think we've got some messages in.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yep, 3 messages in.
Wonderful.
Should we crack on?
Let's do it.
Sorry, listeners at home. First message is from John from Woking. Sorry, not Worthing, Woking. There's a difference. Dear Horatio and Andrew, with a question mark. No, you are addressing us. What are your thoughts on silly and or novelty straws? Yours, John from Woking. Now,
well,
recently I read that all straws are incredibly bad for the environment.
No way. Or is it because they'll get caught around a fish's neck?
Well, they take like 50 years to degrade or something.
That's a long time.
Which is terrible.
Yeah.
So, John from Woking, all straws are bad.
Yep. Let's start with that as like an opening premise.
Yep.
But if we
get
over
straws,
that,
yep. Let's work within that.
Yeah.
Novelty straws. Crazy straws, also known as the twirly ones.
Twirly ones. There's the glasses ones.
There's something it's a weird condition about the human nature about seeing your liquid go in a strange manner into your mouth is incredibly satisfying.
Oh, it's amazing because it's just like it's been on a journey.
And you always do the thing where you do it a bit slowly,
and
then quickly, and then blow back,
and you don't let it go in for a while.
You're like,
oh, yeah.
Because you always want to know where your liquid is, and where it's been,
exactly,
including rectal bleeding.
Yes. Links, wow,
right?
These links! Oh, we're back. We're back. The boys are back.
But you know what's terrible?
What?
Do you remember there was that craze of Nesquik straws going to revolutionise
Nesquik drinking? You're a big Nesquik drinker.
I'm a big Nesquik drinker.
It's chocolate milk for those abroad.
Those abroad, good.
Should we? We should be ambitious.
Presume, yeah.
This will be subtitled soon, I feel.
Yeah.
Or dubbed.
Or overdubbed.
Yeah.
That was a whipple.
I liked you thinking, right, what's the least racist way I can do...
Gibberish.
Non-specific. That's not offending anyone. And that's what we want to do. Not offend anyone.
But no, so these Nesquik straws were like, you can just get because everyone's always got a glass of milk anywhere.
Always.
Look. Oh, shame.
That's a shame.
But
next time,
next
show,
we'll always have a glass.
If we have one, that could be the deal breaker why the pilot doesn't carry on.
That's true. It was like great comedy, no glass of milk.
No glass of milk.
So they were like, you can just whack this straw in any glass of milk, and you can buy a chocolate, strawberry, maybe banana. Unsure on banana availability. Definitely chocolate and strawberry.
Stop saying things you're unsure of, because our legal team is just us at the minute.
Just us.
We don't know too much.
To be our lawyer. Messaging. So they put it in any milk, and bam, you've got yourself a milkshake.
Yeah.
Not true. Not true. And apparently you can reuse the fucking things.
What do you mean reuse?
Reuse the same straw.
From
So you have a glass of milk.
Yeah.
You drink it with chocolate.
Oh, you mean when it comes through? Yeah.
Yeah, so there's little balls of chocolate.
Which it turns. It's the magic straws. I mean, it is pretty.
It doesn't work.
Oh, you've used it.
It's like.
Does it use once?
No, you can use it again. That's what I'm saying.
But how's it on its first use?
Terrible throughout.
Yeah.
Let's not even go into the ridiculous concept of using it more than fucking once.
Yeah.
But first time, it's just milk really.
Yeah.
With like a bit of a chocolate twinge, which is not what you want from
and it's all pure. It's pure the addiction and novelty. But let's go back to the big final answer. What I would say about novelty straws.
Oh, yeah.
As a concept, awful, but it's the way you use them. What's his name?
John from Woking.
John from Woking. It's the way you use it. If you're like a funny, post-ironic, self-aware guy who comes in like, oh, look at this, then I'm down with that guy. Yeah, that guy's fun. But if you're like, I'm sincerely using this because I think it's actually fun. None of that.
None of that.
Next message.
Silliness is key in silly straws.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the silly. Next message, here we go. This one reads, Dear Andrew.
Oh, don't get a name.
I'd like to be a hemorrhoid so I could be inside your ass for a day. Regards, Glenn from Hereford. We did some editing in Hereford recently.
We did.
Did you meet anyone called Glenn who had a particular interest in my ass? No.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. Anyway. Thanks, Glenn.
Not much to discuss there, really.
No, not at all. I mean, I can't really provide you with the service you want.
Yeah.
Unless you come up to Brighton or down to Brighton.
Well, no, still.
I'm
medically impossible. So I don't think that's possible.
Dear Horatio and Andrew, loving the show, guys. Keep it up.
Perfect, thank you.
Especially enjoying Andrew's visor, which is not something that I'm wearing right now. It's good to see the top of your head and knowing you're keeping the sun out of your eyes. Okay, we'll come clean.
Right, we wrote those messages.
We wrote those messages.
There was nobody messaging in. I feel kind of ashamed. I didn't want it to come out like this.
Yeah, that was right.
we wrote it.
I think you mentioned earlier.
While Andrew had a visor on.
When we were filming outside. Okay, we're going to have to come even more clean. This is the second time we tried this. It's not going to
God, it's all coming out. We're frauds already. So we already wrote those messages. Andrew had a fun visor on, and I thought,
it's funny.
Visors
are funny. They're not, apparently.
There's no more messages, are there?
Well, the thing is...
Well, now it's ruined. We've got... don't act like it's us to ourselves.
No, there's one more.
Well, don't...
There's one more.
All right.
Dear Gould Kirwan.
Oh.
Is that Moose, brackets Mitchell Musso from Hannah Montana?
Oh, what a great way to...
Cecil from Basingstoke. Yes, correct. That is Moose from Hannah Montana. Who I've got his IMDb.
Oh, isn't that lucky?
Isn't that?
Where
was that from? To be fair, Cecil from Basingstoke does know the show and where it's going.
Yeah.
So Moose from Hannah Montana. First of all, let's just praise the haircut.
Yeah, wonderful.
If there's anything that epitomises the long, flicky, Justin Bieber-esque movement, it was a movement.
It's the late noughties, early teenies.
Yeah, which is just, it's beautiful. It's actually beautiful. Like, I could stare at it. He looks like a fucking moose.
He does. That's probably why it was called Moose on the show.
Depends if casting happened before the line. I mean, he was Mitchell Musso.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it was
for another time.
So Mitchell Musso, or I don't know his actual name, sadly. I've just got Moose from Hannah Montana. Moose from Hannah Montana's current acting credits read as Hannah Montana.
Yep.
Wizards on Deck with Hannah Montana. Hannah Montana the movie. And Robot Chicken, which went straight to DVD. Good to know that.
So basically, what happened?
Yeah.
is he's like, Hannah Montana, great. I'm going to milk this.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, let's try something else. Tried Robot Chicken,
Natural
went straight
progression.
to DVD.
And that's
it. And then it was like, you know what?
It was in 2009.
Yeah.
So if you're out there,
Mitchell
Moose,
please write your own messages. And if not, we'll write them for you and pretend that they're
from someone else. But it's all part of the
I mean,
fun.
We're liars, but we come clean.
Yeah, and we're going to do messages like that every week.
So get used to it. But do send in your own messages because that would help the man out. Because as we said, we do all of this. This is all us.
Honestly, there's no one behind the camera.
No, there's now
Nothing. There's just more room.
Right. What's next?
Well, I've told an anecdote about myself. Maybe it's time you tell it. Can I have some water?
Yes, of course you can.
Now it's time for your anecdote.
Well, my
people
anecdote.
Are asking, messaging in.
Yep. My anecdote of choice is I once did jury service. I was called up. One of my main civic duties.
An honour.
There's voting and there's jury service. I was called up. I had to go to Brighton, the courts there, and we're all put in. It's such a weird. It's purposely like a weird mix of people, all creeds and colours, sitting in this big room waiting. And our bailiff, who's the guy who kind of looks after you, makes sure you guys go wherever.
Yeah.
He was one of the funniest people I've ever met. He's just like, he was a sort of David Brent, but just much older. And he'd always do this thing where he'd like say a joke just as he left the room, wait to see if anyone had heard it, and then realise that no one had heard it, and then slowly like back out.
So no one would hear it or no one would laugh?
He's like probably going to be working or hardly working. And then he'd like look around, look at the back and see no one's looking, and then just kind of back right. And just, shut this.
Well, that's the kind of man you want as your bailiff.
Exactly. But let's get on to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
What was my first case? I finally get in. I'm chosen to be part of the jury. You go into court. Very exciting.
Yeah.
This is a Crown Court case, so this could be murder. This could be cannibalism. It could be all of the above. So sit down. Very serious. Everyone's very serious because this is all of our first times doing it. So we're like, you got to be serious, you know. Sitting there. Very, very serious. Once again, very serious.
You can't emphasise the seriousness of the situation enough.
And then he starts by saying what the person's been accused of.
Yep.
And it was masturbating his penis back and forth out of an open window on a high street in Eastbourne.
Oh my! Just
straight off the bat.
Specificity of that is amazing, because when you have to read off something like that within a legal environment where everything has to be exactly to the T. So one, they specified that he was masturbating his penis. What else is he going to be masturbating?
The defendant
someone else's penis.
Was seen masturbating his penis
back and forth.
And it was
not side to side.
It was the prosecutor's last case.
Was it?
So the poor guy is just like...
Poor guy, tough one to end.
Yeah, but, so this was a 65-year-old Polish man, spoke no English, had a translator the whole time. 65-year-old Polish man, he'd lived here for 10 years, lived in a flat on his own, his grandchildren occasionally visits. They're in the back crying.
God.
Yeah.
It's really not...
It's really... Because it was funny, but also very sad.
Yeah, definitely.
So then the sniggers have started, because we've still taken it very seriously, because we couldn't believe we're here. Basically what happened is there's these builders who are working across the street from his house.
Yeah.
And one just looks at it, and they just see this open window, and he's wanking out of it.
I think you mean masturbating his penis.
Masturbating his penis back and forth, and then jumping from behind his curtain and then out again. So kind of doing this little peekaboo act. And then he calls over his manager, and his manager's taking a look, and the manager's like... So they get another build. So there's three of them just staring like, this guy's masturbating. Yeah. And like they're going to leave it, but then they see on the front lawn of the house down, there's kids playing.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. So they go knock on this door, and his grandfather, and they're like, there's a man masturbating out there. And then the grandfather, very upset, calls the police. So he gets, the police come, he won't open the door. So they have to get a ladder and climb it. So I'm being told this with like, and then the police...
Wait, so you had no idea what was happening, and then they read out the defendant stands accused of, so that you didn't hear anything, you just the next word was masturbating.
Yeah.
Surely there was a snigger.
There was a kind of you know when you try and like eat your laugh. Like,
yeah, like I'm gonna contain that because it's not appropriate.
So the police had to climb in through his open window.
Yep.
And They finally got him down to the station.
Yeah.
And it turns out what he said he was doing was applying ointment to his groinal region. And it's like, yeah, but you were there for about an hour and you're jumping from behind the curtain. And like his defense was hilarious. So also, this was not the first time. As soon as this came out, apparently he'd done it 3 other times because the neighbours across had seen 3 times. They hadn't thought, because you probably wouldn't call the police.
Well, if the man has got to apply ointment to his penis, I doubt it's like a one-time thing.
Exactly.
You know, so.
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah.
And so they're watching TV, and so this happens about 3 times at different stages in the house over the course of about 6 months. They just look up and they just see him wanking, staring at them. There was a picture.
There was a picture of it?
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
It was very grainy, so it was taken by a phone. And I had to like sketch the outline, and you could see his watch, and just he was well hung man. He looked like the Domeo guy from the Domeo adverts.
Was he well hung? But you know he is.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, it's a joke about meatballs.
Yeah, something. We're better than that.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna move on.
And then, so we're finally discussing this case now.
Yep. Is this now deliberation for the jury?
This is deliberation, and so the whole defence is like he's applying ointment, and he keeps on saying things like, he was being asked like, why were you applying it in open sight on a high street? It's like the light's bad in the bathroom. Why do you have the curtains open? I didn't think people could see.
Well, the light, to be fair. If he's going for the light argument, you need the curtains.
Why are you jumping in and out of a curtain? He didn't really have a good response to that.
That's a tough one.
And we had to inspect the bottle, the ointment he'd used to like think, is there enough in here for him to use for an hour? And we had the most ridiculous. It went off about 2.5 hours.
Wait, was he wanking for an hour?
Yeah, yeah. It was just back and forth. Yeah,
it's exhausting.
It's very well. You know from
yeah. But in the jumping is the thing as well.
Of course. There's more respect after a while. But we found him guilty of 3 counts, not the 4th count, because like one of them because we couldn't really be sure that he might have been applying ointment that one time because it wasn't.
So when you say
clear.
3 counts, it was 3 times.
It was 4 times.
So 4 times.
3 counts. We said he was guilty.
Yeah.
Because.
So what was?
But then because there was these weird like politics going. There was the popular people within this jury service. The people want to go with are like this 22-year-old female student and this 50-year-old man who kind of had this rapport going, and like everyone was trying to get in. And there's this one bald guy that no one really liked because he kept on saying stupid things, and like he'd always be eating and always like. He's like, I just can't be sure. Yeah, I need to hear everything. We're like, the dude was masturbating. Can we just get on with this case? He's like, I need more time to think. But before he spoke, he'd always go, he'd hold his hand over his mouth and say, 1 second. And we'd all sit there waiting for him, just like, I can't be sure. And then,
it sounds like
so then we kind of felt like, obviously he was wanking on the 4th time, but we were like, let the man off.
Let the man off.
Because another funny time was during it, the grandfather comes and says his piece.
Yeah.
And
the grandfather being the defendant.
The grandfather being the one whose grandkids were on the front lawn. Remember?
Oh,
yeah. And he was like, no, he was Austrian. He was like, it was so big. He must have been using Viagra. And the guy who was wanking, the defendant, started laughing.
Really?
It was just giggling because he's got this translator telling us he was like.
Yeah.
And then behind you, I just see this image. I can still remember it. It's just like him laughing, and behind the glass behind him is just his family like crying.
Oh my. Lesson: don't masturbate your penis back and forth in front of a window.
Right, on to the last leg of the show.
Yeah.
Final straight.
Okay. I think many of you, we're a bit confused as to how many people actually know who he is, but I think a lot of people should.
John Tickle, does he ring a bell?
Yeah.
Brainiac. Science show.
I mean, he's infamous to anyone of our age, I think, and most people should know. If not, quickly look him up. Pause the show.
Quickly.
Look him up, because you're going to get none of this if you don't know who he is. But I'm just going to come out
We're polarizing.
right away.
We've got a lot of older listeners as well.
Yeah, it's true. Well, check out John Tickle. Fantastic man. Knows a lot about science.
So he was kind of like the assistant on Richard Hammond's Brainiac show.
Yeah.
And he would always be sent out to do
various scientific things and fun things. But I'm just going to come out right away and say it because it's something that can't be beat about the bush. It's necessary information. John Tickle has an identical twin named Phil. Let's let that simmer. John Tickle has an identical twin called Phil.
Phil Tickle.
Phil Tickle to his friends.
The Tickles.
The Tickles. For those of you viewing, We've got John Tickle there with his magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Phil Tickle's here. Notice he is the smallest one because he is so elusive that the only way I could find a picture of him was on his LinkedIn.
Yeah,
LinkedIn. Honestly. Forgot, I don't know what he does. But they are, honestly, they are identical. Can just stop and think, if you ever watch Brainiac, that there is a man who looks exactly like John Tickle in the world and isn't John Tickle.
There's the Tickles.
There's two.
The Tickles.
John
it's
and Phil
unbelievable.
Tickle. And
one has made it big time.
one is on LinkedIn.
One is on LinkedIn.
Let's not put that down.
Yeah.
But it's just something I've struggled with for a bit because it's just changed everything. It's just it's a paradigm shift.
Well, it's because like you felt safe with who John Tickle was.
He did.
Like, there's the one and only John Tickle.
I love you, Tickle.
Which we used to sing when we were kids.
All day, it's got Tickle. We love you, Tickle.
But now it's.
But now there's two, and I can't even be bothered to. You know what? Fuck Phil.
Whoa.
He can't exist.
Whoa.
We can't have two Tickles in the world. No, leave it. Put it. Get back. You can't mess up the. Phil Tickle is dead.
Right, that's it.
Not Moose.
Yeah,
and the show.
Moose.
Sit down. Sit down.
And Michael while I'm here.
Right. You can touch Moose, but you can't touch Michael Bay. Right, Phil. Well, now everyone listening to John Tickle remains. But
I feel kind of.
I feel like this is like a weird voodoo board. If we rip them off the board, they die.
Yeah.
Right, who? Well, Cardinal Wolsey.
Just leave everyone.
Sorry, you need to be watching the video for this, really.
Fuck Nick. Okay, that's
Right,
the last one.
That's the last
one.
Death. Other than Timothy Dillon.
No, this is fucking.
No. No, stop. Because we can't be killing Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Actually, kill Ted Cruz.
Yeah. Oh, that's not Ted.
That's not Ted. We'll leave Westlife.
Yep.
Cool. So. But
well, we can't do any continuity now.
No, that's it. This is our last shot.
This is our last shot we can use.
Yep. So, the most infamous moment of John Tickle's life was,
of course,
when he walked on custard.
Or the walk.
Well, we'll get to that. Spoiler alert! So, let's just think about that. Let's think about the man who John Tickle is and the fact that he has a twin. Is that he walked on custard. I think he was the first man to do so.
Oh, really?
I think that was a world record thing.
What was it? Like a pool of custard, wasn't it?
It was a literal, like, it was just in the back, honestly, just in the back garden as well. Just a yellow
You can find it on YouTube. It's fantastic.
Please check it out.
Yeah.
John Tickle. John Tickle, walk on custard. That was Richard Hammond. And then, lo and behold, he only goes and walks on custard.
He bloody makes it.
All the way through, goes back for a victory like the cheeky cunt. Ooh, can we go that far? Well, we've gone that far.
We've done the C word.
Out. But we were thinking that, oh yeah, we make films, by the way.
Oh, just whatever. On the side, like just another thing that we do.
How do they do everything? Like just great radio.
Films.
Radio. So we were thinking that our next project, we do projects, by the way.
Yeah.
Could be a biopic following John Tickle's journey to his eventual walking on custard.
Because I want to get
never achieved by another human.
Let's try and get a Kickstarter started for this. This is how we're going to end the show, with a plea for money for the biopic of John Tickle called The Walk.
The Walk.
Yeah.
And it's going to just assess
I think there's a lot of drama.
There's so much drama. A man doesn't just walk on custard without any drama.
His image on the screen is not the same as him behind the screen.
Definitely not.
There'll be like Richard Hammond, like, you gotta fucking walk on. He's
there
American.
Is a John Tickle.
He's
that
American
we are not
in
seeing,
this film.
and I'm not talking about Phil.
Hmm?
They heard it. You don't
I missed that.
Forget it.
I missed that.
No, it was good.
But I was mid bit.
No, laugh.
So can we? We'll just edit it, or we can't. Well, we can anyway.
The Walk, John Tickle's walk on custard.
Yeah.
The lead up to the aftermath of. Surely he's a different man.
Yeah.
Surely he's a different man post walking on custard.
As anyone would be. But I feel I was mid acting out an American. It was funny, but you cut it off. Richard Hammond, I feel, is like screaming at John, like this is in the trailer, like, you gotta do the fucking walk, man! And he's like, I can't do it. And he's like, it's breaking up his family.
Yeah.
The stress of it, but then every time he's on camera, he has to be all smiley.
He has to be all smiley. Richard, John Tickle.
Because has a gambling problem.
Maybe.
Yeah.
This can also be a conspiracy theory-esque video, and it wasn't John Tickle who walked on custard.
It was Phil!
It was Phil.
It was Phil. Because...
It makes it...
Because...
What?
Because Richard Hammond,
yes,
the villain of the thing, is keeping John Tickle hostage.
Why?
Because...
He doesn't have the bottle to walk on custard.
Yep.
But you need to keep the appearance and the lie of John Tickle is more important than the man himself.
Yes!
It's like Batman. It's like Batman.
Right, into the mic.
It's like Batman.
There we go.
Shit. Well, I think that's enough for this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.